Psychology is the scientific study of human behavior and mental processes, aiming to explain how individuals think, feel, learn, and act. Due to the complexity of human behavior, no single explanation is sufficient. Consequently, psychologists have developed various theoretical perspectives known as school of thought. These school of thought provide different frameworks for understanding human behavior and mental processes, with each emphasizing specific aspects of psychological functioning, including structuralism, functionalism, Gestalt psychology, and behaviorism.
Let me explain structuralism as a school of thought in psychology. Now, structuralism states that the human mind can be understood by first breaking it down into its component elements such as sensation, feeling, and perception. For example, here, have a taste of this. How did it taste?
It tastes good.
When you drank it, how did you feel?
I felt refreshed.
That's just what structuralism is all about. It helps understand the whole by first understanding its component parts by a process called introspection, which we just did now, a careful examination of mental processes.
Okay, that's a nice one. Let me talk about Gestalt psychology. Take a look at this picture. What do you see?
A boy.
Notice how he saw the entire whole and not the individual thoughts that make up the image. This is Gestalt psychology. Gestalt psychology was founded by Max Weber in 1912. He believes that the whole is more important than the individual parts.
That's a nice concept. Now I'm going to speak on functionalism. Functionalism is another school of thought in psychology that is associated with William James in 1913. Now, functionalism asks the question, what is the function and the purpose of the mind, rather than asking what it's made of. Now, for example, let's take fear. Guy, what happened that day that you're being chased by a dog? I ran away. You see, he ran away. Now, understand that fear is not just a feeling, but it also helps us to escape from danger. And also, memory helps us to understand experience. So, functionalism sees how mental processes is a tool to help individuals survive and thrive in their respective environments.
That is a good point. But let me also talk about behaviorism. Psychologists like John B. Watson believe that psychology should focus only on observable behavior. Example, if a student fails in his exam, there is a possibility that he will study harder just to get a good grade in this exam. So this is what behaviorism does. It explains behavior as a result of environmental influence, reward, and punishment.
What do you think about associationalism as a school of thought in psychology?
Okay, associationalism is a school of thought in psychology which explains that the human mind works by forming connections between ideas through experience. This school of thought was developed by John Locke in the 17th century and later expanded by David Hume and David Hartley in the 18th century. Associationalism explains that ideas in the mind are connected in three simple ways, which are similarity, contrast, and contiguity. For example, if I mention the word school, what comes to mind is a classroom. This is an example of contiguity, because school and class usually occur together since we experience them at the same time. That means the mind links them. Now, if I say teacher, the other profession that comes to mind is a lecturer, right? This is similarity. And if I mention student, the opposite one that comes to mind is a teacher. Now, this shows contrast, because students and teachers play opposite roles. Therefore, associationalism explains that the mind forms ideas by linking experiences through these three methods.
Okay, that's a wonderful explanation. Thank you for that. I won't take much of your time. What do you think about cognitive psychology?
All right, cognitive psychology is a school of thought in psychology that focused on mental processes such as thinking, memory, language, decision making, and problem solving. Now, cognitive psychology made us to understand that what affects our behavior is the way we think. For instance, two students failed a test. The first one thinks it's useless, or I'm useless, there is no hope. And the second one thinks I didn't prepare for the exam, I will do well in the next test. Now, cognitive psychology explains that there are different thoughts led to different reaction and future behavior.
What other schools of thought do you think there is?
Humanistic school of thought.
Okay, can we get an explanation to that?
Sure, why not? Okay. Humanistic school of thought. This is the philosophical and psychological approach that focuses on the whole person. It emphasizes on human potential, personal growth, and self-actualization. It is believed that human cannot be controlled by the environment alone, that can make choices and strive harder to become their best selves. Some of the examples of this school of thought are choosing a career you love to fulfill your passion and not for the money, or choosing to help others because it gives personal satisfaction, etc. And of course, this school of thought was founded by Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers in 1950s.
Thank you.